What is going on, everybody? It is David Smith of Armchair Commentary coming at you live once again. It is time to delve into some goodies here. I want to talk about January 12th, 1993. And I know a lot of you are probably thinking to yourself, well, Armchair, what's happening January 12th, 1993? Well, let me tell you, there's this little thing that sent ripples. So on January 12, 1993, a shockwave was sent through the world of hockey and sports alike because Mario Lemieux, a top star in the NHL and personally one of my favorite players of all time, announced he was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. And obviously this is something that no one was expecting. It was very surprising. And huge news. And and this pretty well set the sports world ablaze. Not just hockey, which is strange because back in the 90s, hockey was not the top sport, was not what people were looking after. And let's be honest with you, it was incredibly rare. You didn't see a ton of athletes coming up and going, oh, cancer, no big deal, not gonna deal with it, not gonna happen. This was beyond shocking. So before we dive into this particular announcement, I want to take a look back at what the NHL looked like in 1992-93, which is, one of my 93 as a Montreal Canadiens fan is huge to me. And we've got Josh Wolmer in the chat. Appreciate you for jumping in. If you're listening to this on the audio form, this is also being broadcast on YouTube. You can check me out at Armchair Commentary there. Wolmer saying Mario is the second greatest player of all time. What he did was unimaginable, and it took years off. Came back, and he didn't even lose a step. And we're going to get into that because it's incredible that he played 60 games, 60 out of a possible 84. And, not to spoil the ending because, this is history. But he did win the scoring title. So let's take a look at the 92-93 season and see what it looked like. First off, the schedule was lengthened to 84 games, and you might be saying 84 games, Armchair, that sounds ridiculous. Well, they had 2 games being played in non-NHL cities. This is part of Gary Bettman's expand the league, expand hockey to non-hockey markets mantra, and it was not all that great. I didn't particularly love it. No one loved it, in fact, because here we are all this time later, and no more 84 games, 82 now. The Ottawa Senators, the current version that you have in the NHL right now, have just come back into the league. They, of course, were the 67s and various other forms, and they have folded, and now they're back, as well as the Tampa Lightning. If you can imagine, the Tampa Lightning, brand new Tampa Bay Lightning. And Gary Bettman, he was the commissioner at the time. So we have gotten Commish Gary Bettman, 2 new teams, and all sorts of other crazy things going on. Rookie Teemu Selanne, who is one of my fave players of all time, love me some Teemu Selanne in the Winnipeg Jets, was a rookie, and he was making waves, and the divisions were, of course, the Adams division, the Patrick division, the Norris, and the Smythe division. So pretty different. It's a pretty different looking league. For the purpose of this, I want to keep our eyes on the Patrick division, which was the Penguins, the Capitals, the Islanders, the Devils, the Flyers, and the Rangers. It's a pretty incredible time for growth of the league. And later on, I'll talk about who won the division. But for now, let's take a look at the start of 1992, especially for Mario Lemieux. During his run, the 27-year-old Mario Lemieux was on pace to beat, and this is going to sound insane, Wayne Gretzky's seemingly untouchable record of 92 goals in a single season and 215 points. Now, I'm going to say that during the live puck era, that was crazy. It's crazy now because we'll never get there. Like 60-something goals is pretty remarkable today. But looking at 92 goals back then was, holy smokes, 215 points was unbelievable. And Mario was going to beat it. Let's be honest. I don't think he just would have beat. I think he would have crushed it. Would have absolutely destroyed it. And the Penguins team itself was on fire, to be honest with you. They were 28-10-4 halfway through the season, which is a ridiculous mark. The whole team was firing on all cylinders. And in 40 games, Lemieux had hit a foolish mark of 39 goals, 65 assists, and 104 points. Now, to put some of this in perspective, let's look at some of today's stars' best seasons. I mean, at all, period. So let's look at Connor McDavid. His best season as a pro came 21-22 last year, 123 points. Austin Matthews, regarded as one of the best goal scorers in the league for the Leafs, begrudgingly, I admit. He scored 106 points with a stupid 60 goals. 60 goals. He had 39 goals and 40, and Mario put up 39 in 40 games. 40 games, he put up 39. That's a clip of 0.95 goals per game. It's incredible. Okay. So on the day of his announcement, the hockey world wasn't ready for it. One of the brightest stars having one of the most memorable seasons. This would be akin to Kobe Bryant absolutely smashing a scoring title and leaving midway through the year because he couldn't complete anymore. Or Ken Griffey Jr. on pace for a triple crown and not getting to finish the year. It just didn't happen. Other stars had disease, and other stars had illness, and other stars had injuries that were catastrophic and, season ending and career ending. But no one had really had this kind of explosive kind of deal midway through. You didn't see someone who was record breaking, absolutely smashing, and all of a sudden do this. We've seen, obviously there are other superstars who have been ill. Obviously, there are superstars who have been ill during their playing time. This just felt different. And that's tough, especially if you're a Penguins fan, because, boy, this was incredibly tough timing. You're in the middle of the year. So after some intensive radiation treatment, 2 months of being out, Mario was ready to make his return. And on the same day he had his last chemo treatment, the Penguins had a match with the rival Philadelphia Flyers. Now, I don't need to tell you that the Flyers are some of the toughest fans in all of sports, especially hockey. Flyers fans are unbelievable. They're passionate, and that's an easy way to put it. So during his 2-month absence, Mario had fallen behind in the scoring race, as you can imagine, and sensational Pat LaFontaine of the Buffalo Sabres had given himself a 12-point cushion on the league lead for the scoring title. But Super Mario said, "Not so fast, my friend." Little Lee Corso for you there. His emotional return to the ice was unfortunately not a victory. The Pens lost to the Flyers 5-4, but understanding how important Mario is to the game, the typically hardened Flyers fans gave Mario a standing ovation. A standing O from Philly fans. Now, and it's not just, look, Flyers fans are great. Phillies fans, great. Eagles fans, incredible. But they are passionate and they are hardened, and if they are playing a rival, they will let you know. There is no way that these guys would have done this if it was just a wrist injury or a leg injury. But understanding the significance of it, they said, yeah, we gotta make right here. We gotta make right by this. So that's what they did, the standing ovation. Mario scored a goal and he added an assist in the first game back, so let's start the countdown on getting back on Pat LaFontaine. The Penguins actually lost the first 2 games when Mario came back and then rattled off an astonishing and just if you're not aware, the chat, Philly fans, it is a nice way of saying they're brutal. They are very brutal. The Penguins lost those first 2 games when Mario came back, and then they rattled off an astonishing 17 straight victories. The Penguins ended up winning the President's Trophy, and with the most points ever by a Penguins team, 119. Let's not forget Pat LaFontaine, who had taken the lead for the scoring race. What happened to him? Well, Mario ended the year with 160 points. 160. He missed 2 months with cancer, and the team wasn't a bunch of nobodies either. Like, it was a stacked roster. Yager had 94 points. Ricky Tocchet, Kevin Stevens, Ron Francis all had more than 100 points each. And, of course, one of my favorites, Tom Barrasso in goal, holding it all together. And this scoring race is a testament to how incredible Super Mario was. Here's how it finished for the top 5 players in the scoring race. Okay, and you might recognize some of these names. Mario Lemieux, 160 points. Pat LaFontaine, 148 points. Adam Oates had 142, little Oatesy. Steve Yzerman, or as Bill Clinton called him, Steve Yzerman, I think. It was pretty ridiculous. I don't know how you butchered that one that badly. 137 points for the Wings. And rookie Teemu Selanne had 132. All the other 4 guys in the top 5 played all 84 games. Mario played 60. He was on pace to score 224 points. Not only beating the record, but completely destroying it. It's so impossible to talk about. I just want to kind of go into some of the other guys that were in that list before I kind of, just talk about the league and what was going on there. Alex McGillney was in that season, 127. Dougie Gilmore had 127. Luke Robitaille with 125. Mark Recchi with 123. Matt Sundin with the Nordiques had 114. Like, this league was stacked. Pavel Bure, 110 points. This puck era was incredible. Absolutely incredible. And, all-time leaders, you want to talk about all-time NHL point getters. Mario lost a lot. He had to, unfortunately, his career was cut way short. And it shouldn't have been, because there were guys that played a lot longer. But when you look at that season in particular, I think it kind of punctuates how incredible Mario was to everyone. Mario was better than Gretzky. And I'm not, just saying this to get clicks or saying this to make you think that I don't know what I'm talking about or you to come at me. Mario was better than Gretzky. Gretzky played 1,487 games. 1,487. He had 894 goals and a ridiculous 1963 assists. 2,857 all-time points. Yager played 300 more games and didn't come close to cracking 2,000 points. Mario's 8th all-time in points. 8th. You know how many games he played? It's less than 1,000. Mario played 915 games. He scored 690 goals. He had 1,033 assists for 1,723 points. At 1,755 is Steve Yzerman with 1,500 games played. If Mario had played the same amount of games as Yager or even as Gretz, he would have absolutely annihilated the record. He would have absolutely destroyed it. And it's sad to say, but Mario is the guy. I don't have much else for you today other than I wanted to say thank you for dropping in. This is a short episode. The 1992-93 Penguins were an incredible team. Most points by a Penguins team to this day. If you think there's another Penguin that I should be mentioning, please, by all means, let me know, because Yager is the only number 2. We did go to Twitter. And I want to bring up some of the Twitter answers before we get out of here. I asked, who is it you think of when you see the Pittsburgh Penguins logo? And the answers that I got were Jaromir Jagr and Jaromir Jagr's mullet. That's it. Those are the 2 answers that we got. So it was an incredible time for the league. The league was pretty impressive in itself, and I love that we have something to go back on. We can look at this and say, Mario was unequivocally one of the greatest of all time. Gordie Howe has an argument. I think that people still get caught up on Gretzky, and that's okay. I'm fine if you think Wayne Gretzky is the greatest of all time. But please, please don't forget Mario. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, share this out. We are going to be doing this a lot more often, probably a little more lengthy coming up going forward. And I'm really interested in getting some friends on the show. Stone Sports Podcast will be on the show at some point. He and I have a project that we're working on that's coming up. If there is an incredible event that you want me to cover on the Armchair Commentary Podcast, please let me know. Follow me on the socials at Armchair Commentary, at Armchair Comment 2. All the links are in the description if you want to support the show. You can buy me a coffee. You can become an armchair commentator for a very low monthly fee. Check out In the Clutch Clothing. Use code armchair at checkout for 10% off your entire order. And don't forget to join the Discord, where you will find all of us talking about all of these remarkable things day after day. I hope you have an incredible night. Thanks so much for jumping on. And hey, the superist Mario.